Right. Hello, citizens of the Nigelverse. It's Nigel here once again, and this is going to be another wrestling review. Previously last week, I looked at a match from WCW, or actually not last week, but on Sunday, I should say, which is you know what I mean. But on Sunday, I looked at a match from WCW, that being Rey Mysterio's debut against Dean Malenko at Great American Bash 1996. Now, technically, this match has nothing to do with that one, but I'm continuing to branch off in a number of ways, and this time it's ECW's turn. And I was thinking about what ECW match I want to look at, and I figured I might as well look at this match. This match is considered to be without too much hyperbole, one of the most brutal, one of the one of the craziest matches in ECW history, and involved a very gutsy performance by two competitors, who, funnily enough, are kind of known for gutsy performances. But this is probably one of the most insane matches of all time. I'm in ECW history, so I figured why not look at it. And you see the title of this video, you know what time it is. I'm of course talking about Sabu versus Terry Funk in the barbed wire match at ECW, Born to Be Wired 1997. And now, of course, as always, I am not professional wrestling reviewer or analyst or anything like that, just a man who enjoys a good time. And I had a pretty good, if not uncomfortable, time watching this match. Now, normally this is when I tell you or actually, it's usually later in the review, but you know what I mean. This is normally when I tell you, hey, check this match out for yourself. I recommend this match for yourself. I will say, for starters, this match not available on the WWE Network or slash Peacock slash Netflix. Admittedly, it wasn't on there before then on Peacock either. Now, the old WWE Network, I forget if this pay per view actually was on there. Here, it wouldn't surprise me if it wasn't, and because this pay per view and this match, probably not safe. Now, granted, there's some other crazy stuff that's still on the uh, well, was on Peacock, now is on Netflix. Um, but yeah, there is some other crazy stuff. But yeah, this one not making it on there. It was released. I believe it was only released to ECW Home Video. Thankfully, someone uploaded the full match on Daily Motion, so that's how I was able to excuse me, that's how I was able to watch this match. And they straight up said, Joey Styles that is straight up said this will not be on ECW TV. This will only be on pay per view and will only be on ECW home video on DVD. So, yeah, and nowhere to be found on the network or on streaming. And I had to go to Daily Motion to watch the whole match. But that's the first thing. The second thing is if you are someone who's squeamish, if you're someone who doesn't like a lot of blood, if you're someone who's not a fan of like mutilation and stuff like that, this match probably not for you, and you know what? That's okay. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting with what I liked about this match, obviously there is the big aspect of this match, just all kinds of insane. And in a barbed wire match, the ring ropes that you normally see that they bounce off of and stuff have all been replaced with barbed wire. So they heighten up the danger of the barbed wire. They put it over in a big way, and even in the first few moments, you see Sabu and Terry Funk both avoiding uh, being running straight into the barbed wire. Which Terry Funk, he's also wrestling with his shirt on, so he's kind of doing the smart thing. But eventually, Sabu is the first to go into the barbed wire, and it is nasty. And and like and both Sabu and Terry Funk throughout the match, they make very good use of the barbed wire, or if you want to call it that, in a sense. And it's where like Sabu's face is raked across it, Sabu is busted open. Sabu actually he goes into the barbed wire like back first multiple times. He even tears his pants on it. So his underoos and his legs are exposed, or at least the one leg definitely is. But he tears his pants and he's covered in blood. Terry Funk also goes in and he's covered in blood. And then famously, Sabu even tears open his I believe it was right bicep in this match. I believe it was his, or they just say bicep, but I believe it was his right bicep. But that's torn open. So Bill Alfonso, who is managing Sabu at the time, brings him in some tape, and Sabu just tapes up the uh, tapes up the biceps so he can finish the match. Actually, admittedly, something kind of funny that really shouldn't have been funny, but it kind of was. Is Sabu was like taping it up, and Terry Funk like goes to attack him and then pile drive him through the table as Sabu's going down, and even after he takes the pile driver spot through like the pile of chairs, because Terry Funk's got chairs like he's got him in the four-way formation that we've seen multiple times in several matches. His Sabu's still taping up the arm and everything, almost no cells in a way, but just trying to contain the bleeding as much as he can. And now that is dedication. And would I probably do something like that? Probably not. But such was Sabu. But yeah, so both men are definitely busted open, and they even take off like parts of the barbed wire from the makeshift ropes, and then like hit each other with it. Terry Funk's the first to do that, nailing Sabu repeatedly with it. Even Bill Alfonso gets caught in the crossfire. So Bill Alfonso he interview not interviews he interferes somewhat, or at least tries to. Terry Funk brings him in, rips open the back of his shirt, and like drags the barbed wire across his back, and then even nails him in the face. So Bill Alfonso is also cut open. And for a manager, props to Bill Alfonso for being willing to take that punishment in the match. Now Bill Alfonso at the start of the match, he says not his first rodeo, not his first time with barbed wire, even though Joey Styles on commentary alludes to otherwise. But still, uh, pro- props to Bill Alfonso for taking that punishment, being willing to take the barbed wire. If I was a manager, I'd probably go nowhere near, and that's probably why I'm not a wrestler or wrestling manager. I wouldn't mind being a wrestling manager though, but maybe some other day, maybe sometime. But RVD does show up. He helps out Sabu, and then Tommy Dreamer also shows up, and he takes out RVD. Oh, uh, the interference is there, but it quickly gets snuffed out. And RVD's wearing like these orange like work gloves to avoid directly touching the barbed wire, which admittedly is kind of smart. But Tommy Dreamer clatters RVD with the trash can, and just carries him off. So RVD was almost in there for nothing, and just all kinds of. And by this time, two of these sections where like the barbed wire was are completely clear. At first, they are like rolling under the barbed wire to go in and out of the ring, but by this time they've taken off so much of the barbed wire or from the two sections, and the east and the west section, and if you will, but um and they use wire cutters to do so, and that's also how they get parts of the barbed wire to hit each other with. Sabu hits some dives, of course. There's one of the dives he does. He hits Terry Funk in, and both times he wraps himself in the barbed wire. Or more so the second time. The first time not as much, but the second time he definitely does. But Abu um and nails the two dives. On the second one, the table doesn't really break. But yeah, so props to both these guys for taking as many bumps as they did, being willing to be cut open by the barbed wire as much as they did, and just absolutely going to town on each other. It definitely adds to the brutality of the match and just makes for an absolutely crazy spectacle. Well, up until Sabu, who pins Terry Funk with all the barbed wire under him in order to pick up the win and become the ECW World Champion. So, and then after the match, seeing both of them just tied up, just like absolutely caught tied up in the barbed wire, like Sabu's saying, like, "Get this off of me, get this off of me!" Like it's just absolutely nuts, and like ends with them, and like desperately trying to cut them out of the barbed wire, and at this point, everybody comes out and and it's just an absolutely insane spectacle. Well, and there's even an excerpt from Joey Styles here in the wiki, and I do want to read this here. It says Terry Funk and Sabu wrestled in real barbed wire. If you look at the end of the match, there really isn't a pinfall because Terry Funk's shoulders really aren't on the mat because the two had become so intertwined in the barbed wire that they were just entangled in this giant ball that was just piercing both of them. Terry Funk was very lucky because there was one piece of barbed wire that was sticking out that was very close to his eyeball. We had to cut them free from one another with wire cutters and get them both to the emergency room. That was the most atrocious thing I've ever seen in my life. Everyone who did a barbed wire match before that realized they had been topped. Well, Joey's definitely not wrong about that, and you do see that even Paul Heyman, from what I remember, was very worried about Sabu and his well-being, and of course Terry Funk as well, but especially Sabu with the torn open bicep and everything. But yeah, just absolutely insane. And if I had to find something to knock against this match, I guess the pinfall I mentioned in that excerpt there, really, he is one of the only things I could think of because it felt kind of weird and kind of anticlimactic, but they were tangled up, and B, you also get the sense of, hey, let's just finish this up so we can get it out of here, so we can get out of this barbed wire. Or so I can't really fault them for that. But yeah, definitely one of the most insane, one of the most dangerous ones, one of the most brutal matches in ECW history. Both men look like absolute madmen, as if they as if they needed it per se, but both men and just all top marks in the world. They definitely, if they hadn't earned their stripes before, they definitely earned it with this match. And also another fun little tidbit: this match is technically Terry versus Terry, as Sabu's real name was Terry Bronk. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this review. Like I said, if you're someone who gets uncomfortable, you don't like a lot of blood, then I wouldn't recommend this match. But for the for the history, I would say when it comes to this match, and if you're someone who's a fan of brutality in a lot of ways, um, I would also recommend this match. As now, in terms of actual wrestling moves like a bunch of technical prowess, you're not really gonna find it here. We do get pile drivers from Terry Funk, but that's as close as we get. Yeah, otherwise, it's just absolutely insane in terms of a match. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this review. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor: like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and turn on those post notifications so you know every single time I upload a video, so you never miss an upload. And boy, it's gonna be hard to find a thumbnail for this one. Now, I'll, oh, the reason I say that is because I try not to have like blood or anything from the wrestlers in my thumbnails. I don't know if YouTube will necessarily flag it hit. Like I don't know if I'll get in trouble for it, but I really don't want to take that chance. But if you did enjoy, leave a comment. Let me know if you enjoy this match, if you've seen this match, if you like the match. Let me know if you like dislike or dislike my review of the match. Let me know in the comments. But in the meantime, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace.